What's up, y'all? Polo Sports News Plus, and Polo Sports Talk and ENT. We're in the building right now. Hit that like and hit that sub, and also hit the comment as well. Um, Also hit the notifications too if you're not getting uh, my videos, or because YouTube doesn't tend to send out stuff on time. So definitely hit that notification. Now I want to go ahead and I want to talk about uh, one of the players that I enjoyed watching. Uh, as y'all come on in, again, I want to welcome everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in to the last live. It was very action-packed live for the little time that we spent on there. Uh, Want to give a shout out to Will the Thrill, who was in the building, definitely putting his perspective into everything. Goat Mike, definitely, because we were talking about the Lakers, of course, and also guys like Red Pill, Braxton, Red Con, Big Who, everybody that pulled up to the stream to show love, man. I appreciate y'all. Anybody else that I forgot, it's all love, man. Look, Robert Horry is a Hall of Famer. Uh, I think that Robert Horry should be in the Hall of Fame. He's definitely warranted it, a Hall of Fame. All of the vote to the fame to receive in my say that he's first. Okay, the reason why I feel like and the type of style in which you talk about a role player and just doing your job and fulfilling that job and going above and beyond and being that important piece that is needed in order to put banners in the arena, to put to put rings on fingers and to hoist that trophy. You got to talk about Robert Horry, or AKA Big Shot Bob. Okay, now a lot of y'all may remember from what I know, a lot of y'all may just recognize Robert Horry as just hitting that last second shot, at the end of games. Uh, some of the most, uh, I would say, vicious dunks that were done, especially in his earlier days in Houston. I mean, people don't truly know how truly athletic Robert Horry was. Some of y'all may remember him, for that. Uh, what I remember from Robert Horry is how well of a defensive-minded player he was, both in the interior and as well as the perimeter. because he could definitely play both. He was very agile, being at 6'10", roughly 6'11". People forget that he was that big, but he could move like a guard. Now, in his later years, he started, you didn't see it so much, but he was still very, very productive. Now, this is another thing that you have to consider about Robert Horry too, as well. When he was on every franchise that he played for, he always won multiple championships, and even was a part of two franchises in which they were considered dynasties. Okay, at one point, when you speak of the Spurs and you speak of the Lakers. Now, of course, with the Spurs, he wasn't there for all four championships, but he was there for two out of the four that they had won during that stretch. Excuse me. I really should say, five, because the franchise had won five, but he was there for when the for the the Mono Ginobili, Duncan, and Tony Parker era. He was there during that era, not the Robinson and Duncan era. But either way, Robert Horry deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because he even repeated on two championship squads, which was in Houston with the '94 and '95 team, and then of course with the three-peat Lakers, in which he was a very important piece on that squad, because when he hit that shot in '99 2000 to will the team to victory, that was an important shot, and a lot of people remember that shot. A lot of people remember that shot, so you have to take that into account. I also like the fact that Robert Horry, he didn't back down from any challenge, and he was very cerebral in the way that he communicated on defense. Uh, when you needed a score, he definitely was there. When you needed a shot, he was definitely there, and he was just an all-out winner. And a lot of people don't realize that uh, that's why they wanted Robert Horry. They counted on Robert Horry. Okay, now maybe that's not a big case for some of y'all, but for me, I think it's a very valuable case. No, like, you're putting in guys in the Hall of Fame, that have never been successful in the playoffs. Okay, as much as I love T Mac, and as great as a scorer he was, if you're gonna put somebody like him in the Hall of Fame, then you better have put Robert Horry in the Hall of Fame, and here's why: because he has the championship hardware. He has 7 rings. McGrady never even got to a finals. And when I'm talking about when he was at the height of his career. You know, um, he never in my eye, he never exceeded those type of those expectations. Now I know that injuries derailed his career a bit. I know that he was hobbled by injuries late in his career, but even still, he had a chance while he was with Orlando. Okay, he also had a chance when he was with Houston to do the same thing. And he even struggled to get out of the first round. But with Robert Horry, on every single team that he went to, he was an important on every team that he went to, he was an important piece. You know, he definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, if y'all feel otherwise, I would like to know. I really want to know because there's some people that feel that he didn't do enough to be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, his numbers aren't going to jump out at you. Okay, they're not going to jump out at you. He doesn't have. He only scored 7 points total, a career 7 points per game average. He only averaged 4.8 rebounds and 2 assists for his entire career. But you can't go by just strictly numbers. Now, if we're going by strictly numbers, I would imagine that if Robert Horry played in this era, his his plus minus attributes to statistics and to the game would be off the charts. They would be kind of similar to what Nicholas Batum brings to the table because Nicholas Batum leads the NBA in plus minus at averaging I think roughly 18, if my memory serves me correctly. You know, sometimes it's not what you can make a bigger impact in terms of what you do uh, that doesn't show on the stat sheet, and that's why some teams want you. Like being able to recognize a certain type of defense that's being played with you, being able to recognize, okay, that I need to make that hockey assist so that guy can be able to, get that score, or being able to shift the defense, or being able to keep the defense on its heels, because you don't know what this guy is capable of doing. Okay, and also you he put fear into the opponent's head, not necessarily like a Michael Jordan fear, during the game, but you had that Michael Jordan, Kobe type of fear that if it ends up in the hands of Robert Horry, he's destined to make that shot. He lived for those moments. His contribution was unreal. And if I'm a GM, if I'm a general manager, I'm putting a guy like Robert Horry on my squad uh, automatically, because coaches love players like a Robert Horry. And I could go down the list of other players, but this is dedicated to a guy like Robert Horry. Believe it or not, I felt this is what I felt. I felt that his play. This is just my opinion, and this was just because of his youth. I felt like he was way, way, way more impactful when he played with the Rockets. Okay, particularly because he could score, he could run the floor, he could handle the rock, and people forget that he was a very underrated shot blocker. Robert Horry would pin your shit against the glass without a doubt, with no question. You know, everybody wants to talk about how LeBron does these chase down blocks and stuff like that. Well, Robert Horry used to do that too. He, along with Hakeem Olajuwon, Otis Thorpe, guys like that. Even though Otis Thorpe was mainly, with the rebounds and stuff like that. Guys like that, man, those guys right there were. It was a tough, gritty time to play basketball, because you weren't just going to put anything up and expect not be expected not to get blocked. So Robert Horry, man, he definitely has he has my vote to get up in the Hall of Fame. A lot of people they want to look at 20 points per game, 10 rebounds, and all that other stuff, but it's not all about that. I'm taking Robert Hoy right off the top. As a matter of fact, uh, if Lamar Odom would have kept, if he would have just stayed, stay focused and everything, Lamar Odom could have been a Hall of Famer. He definitely could have been a Hall of Famer because of how he played. Um, he could do so many things on the court for his size. When you talk about dribbling and being able to have good court vision, and on top of that, being able to score too, inside and out, and could create his own shot. But that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about Lamar Odom. We're talking about Robert Horry. And what I find interesting is that everybody just is so focused on numbers. Numbers. They're important. They're important and stuff. They're important, but it's not as important as your contribution to a championship. And that's what Robert Horry. That's what he definitely did. Now I'm gonna drop the link if you want to get in here and speak your piece. If you watched Robert Horry play, if you think that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, or if he doesn't, I want to hear it. And hey, look, it's all right to disagree, man. A lot of people think that a lot of people take disagreement so personal, man. I've never. To me, disagreeing with somebody is no more than telling somebody no, you don't want to eat what they cook. That's basically what it is. That's really what it is. It's nothing personal against what you may feel. Robert Horry is going to go down as one of the greatest to do it. You can't go and you can't talk about any of those Lakers teams or those Rockets teams or those or the Spurs teams without mentioning Robert Horry. You just can't. You just can't. Uh, another guy that I felt like should be in the Hall of Fame too is, and I already made a video on this, but I talked about him a while back, and that was Michael Cooper. You know, as much as I like offense, and I love you know guys that know how to finish, and guys that know how to handle the rock, and guys that know how to shoot. The bread and butter to me is defense, because you can't defense you can't teach heart. You can't teach heart. And that's why, like, when I'm talking about guys like Dennis Rodman, I'm glad Dennis Rodman got into the Hall of Fame. Some people felt like he didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I felt like Dennis Rodman um, should have been in the Hall of Fame, and that's why he is in the Hall of Fame, without a doubt. Now, was Robert Horry pulling down 25 rebounds and uh, a game, and leading the rebound multiple years? No, he wasn't. He wasn't doing any of that. You know, and and like I said before, his numbers are not gonna they're not gonna jump out at you. They're just not going to jump out at you. There's a lot of players in the Hall of Fame. When you look at their numbers, they're not going to jump out at you like that. Like Tony Kukoc, for an example. Uh, his numbers will jump out at you when he played in Croatia, but they won't jump out at you when you look at his numbers in terms of what he did in the NBA. And I'm talking about like just overall statistics in comparison to a guy like like a Scottie Pippen or like a Michael Jordan. Uh, to me, Tony Kukoc, yes, does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah, he does. But I would take Robert Horry over a guy like Tony Kukoc. Now when we talk about Chris Webber and Tim Hardaway Sr. and uh, Ben Wallace, guys like that, yes, off the rip, yes, they definitely deserve it. But I can understand why guys would question why people would even attempt to put Robert Horry in the Hall of Fame. I can definitely understand it. Now, do I think that it's fair? Do I think that he's being robbed of his chance to be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely, absolutely. It don't take away nothing. It don't take away from his greatness at all. I have a firm belief that if Robert Horry scored, let's say 20 points a game, he would be in there. He would be in there. But that wasn't his. Well, you got to think about it. He played with arguably, I would say, five with five of the best players in this generation. When you talk about Kobe Bryant, when you talk about Shaquille O'Neal, when you talk about uh, what's it called, Hakeem Olajuwon, when you talk about Manu Ginobili, and even Tony Parker, hell, even Clyde Drexler, he should be in there. They need to give him his flowers while they can smell them. But y'all guys, let me know what you think. Don't see anybody. Um, don't see anybody in here, but y'all gotta tell me what you think, man. Should Robert Horry be in the Hall of Fame? I'll get at y'all.